How about now? Can you hear me now? Let me know. Geez, so I'm reading all of that and you couldn't hear anything. That's just lovely. It's been a day. Sorry, guys. Okay. Sorry about that. It's been a day, all of this stuff. Okay. I guess I'll start again. And if anybody's watching the replay, you're just going to have to fast forward through it. What can I say? Okay. Now I'm going to need another Angry Orchard. Okay. Truthandadvertising.org continues to aggressively beat the enforcement drum. Today, its leaders sent a letter to Acting Director of the Bureau of Consumer Protection, Samuel Levine, encouraging the FTC to implement a penalty offense program targeting the direct selling industry and its market-wide practice of utilizing deceptive earnings representation and false health claims. And so you guys know this is not my regular camera. I've had system issues for over an hour trying to get things to work. It is worth reading twice. Oh my gosh, and B, you were trying to read my lips. Poor thing. Oh, good Lord. Sorry about that, guys. What can I say? I'm human. And I've been through a lot this week. As we discussed in detail here, link, FTC Commissioner, can't say the first name, Chopra, and his then attorney advisor Levine last year released a paper advocating for the commission to resurrect the Penalty Offense Authority, which authorizes civil penalties where the following three conditions are met. A final cease and desist order has been entered against a party in an administrative proceeding under Section 5B of the FTC Act. There is a commission determination that a specific practice is unfair or deceptive as part of that order, and a party with actual knowledge that the practice is unfair or deceptive has engaged in that practice after the order became final. And holy crap, because I was having all these issues because Dave created something that I wanted to share with you guys. Let me stop sharing for me. Let me find it. What can I say? So many issues going on. I can't wait to be able to get a new computer, and everything just takes forever in 5 days. And I will finish that, but I want to also share with you what Dave created, because he breaks this down really well and very succinctly. Dave Vaughn is always helping me. If you guys don't follow him on Twitter or Instagram, you should. He creates great content and he helps me so very much. And now where is the link to that stuff? There it is. Okay. That I'll be able to share that. So I brought that up. Okay. Now then I'll go back to what I was reading. Okay. The letter argues that the commission has issued numerous final cease and desist orders following fully adjudicated, I'm not sure if I said it right, administrative proceedings that could be used as a predicate for an action under the Penalty Offense Authority. Despite that assertion, the letter attaches only two orders. One, the 1975 cost-cut decision that established the standard for an illegal pyramid scheme under the FTC Act, and two, a 2013 order against Palm Wonderful LLC, which is not a direct selling company, but that involved allegations of misleading health claims for a food product. While the FTC has indeed brought many enforcement actions and settlements against direct selling companies, the challenge that Tina and the FTC face in seeking to revitalize the Penalty Offense Authority is that its use requires a final order after an administrative proceeding. Because the FTC for years relied almost exclusively on settlements and or 13B litigated matters for enforcement, there are not many final orders after an administrative proceeding to rely on. Undeterred by this limitation, the truthandadvertising.org letter also provides a list of 660 direct selling companies with contact information to assist the FTC in providing notice. The organization's efforts are the latest in a series of efforts to explore how the FTC can obtain money through enforcement in novel ways in the wake of the Supreme Court's unanimous AMG capital management decision. Okay, I'm not going to get into all that. I'm going to then share with you the stuff that Dave created. Calm down. What happened? Dave, is this the first one? I think this is the first one. So hopefully it's going to go in order, because I'm not sure if this is the first one, but I think it is. Okay. Truth in Advertising is a nonprofit organization based in Madison, Connecticut. It has a long history of calling out deceptive advertising, which makes it an active member of the Consumer Protection Shield against everyday MLM practices. The FTC is a U.S. government agency tasked with policing false, misleading, and unsafe commercial practices and main force used to bring justice to victims of MLM scams. So Tina watches their best friend get beaten earlier this year in a Supreme Court case against the use of Section 13B. Rest in peace, 13B. Side panel, AMG Capital, and this is what I was just reading and I didn't finish, but he covers it much better. AMG Capital versus FTC. Disclaimer, I'm not a lawyer, so back off. Section 13B was used in many cases by the FTC to freeze the assets of a company under investigation to make sure the money didn't suddenly disappear on some mysterious yachting incident. AMG known scammers said that wasn't fair. The Supreme Court said, hey, you know what? That scammer is right. That isn't fair. FTC, you don't get to do that anymore. The end. Well, sort of. Meanwhile, Tina, they are like Damon to the FTC's Pythias, remains the best kind of friend anyone could ask for. Tina starts reading all the law books, getting ready for the next phase of consumer protection battles. Side note to the side panel, this case by AMG was strongly supported by MLM companies and DSA. Hashtag Go Joe Go. I love that hashtag. That's so funny. So the FTC is looking for legislative relief from Congress to help protect consumers from the various frauds that have been committed during the whole, you know what? But Tina found a secret backdoor solution to the FTC was sitting on, but never used handling MLM deceptive practices before. A big backdoor, so big. 660 MLM swindles fit inside. That's 660 MLM companies mentioned in the letter that have used false health claims and misleading income representations. This backdoor is found in the already legislated FTC Act, Section 5M1B. Side panel, what is Section 5M1B? Disclaimer, I'm still not a lawyer. Not that we'd ever trust one of those again. And holy crap, I don't know if I'm going to be able to read all of that. So I'm going to drop down because I can't read all of that. I need to make it bigger. Can I make it bigger? Let's see. Will it make it? No, it's not. It's not getting bigger for me, even though I'm trying. Nope, it's not. Okay. Tina outlines in a post about, oh, crap, where did it go? Okay, there we go. Tina outlines in a post about this letter that this law allows the FTC to fine each company up to $42,792 for market-wide harms. Tina uses the 1975 Costco case, say it one more time for me, to emphasize that MLMs have more than enough actual knowledge to avoid making the deceptive claims that they routinely commit. A side part of this letter that also makes my heart flutter is the calling out of Joe Marino's sad attempt at self-enforcement. The letter is 192 pages of deep, unadulterated, hardcore love. Well, okay, it's a bit pointed, but it's the kind of love we need to see. The letter itself is only 2 pages with 187 pages of appendices. Fellas, take note. So go and have a look for yourself. Show Tina some love. Say it with me. Hooray for Tina. I love that. Oh, that was something else. See, Dave sends me a lot of things. All right. So now, where am I going to? I went there. Okay. I'm so fancy. Not at all. Okay. So this was published on the Truth in Advertising website. Attention, US MLMs. Now, here's the thing. Whatever happens in the US can spread worldwide because other agencies will be taking note of how our country is, dealing with multi-level marketing. And so that's why this is a big deal and is an important thing. I think probably the most important thing that I've seen happen since I've been making anti-MLM content. Because, honestly, one or two being shut down or whatever, it's like, okay, but those people who were involved, they can go be consultants somewhere else. I mean, they're not going to stop being part of the industry. They just will move on, Okay. Over the years, Truth in Advertising has documented thousands of examples of MLM companies using deceptive marketing to promote their business opportunity and sell their wares. The problem is so rampant that in 2019, the industry's Direct Selling Association, DSA, established a new self-regulatory program in an attempt to rein in inappropriate health and income claims. Now, this whole concept of self-regulation, to me, I just think is comical at best. It doesn't work. I mean, they're not going to really out what's really happening. It's just like they'll do like small little, oh, you shouldn't do that. But the entire industry in and of itself, in my opinion, is just very corrupt, very dirty, very nasty, and really isn't anything that the world needs. But that's just one girl's opinion. But to date, nothing has stemmed the tide of deception within the industry. One need look no further than Mary Kay, whose founder is in the DSA Hall of Fame, to see that even the most well-known MLMs are deceiving customers. And I think that is something so important, that it doesn't matter that you have all these awards, you're still doing shitty things, and they all are. I've yet to see one that's like, granted, I would say like Hannah and I talked about Avon as being how it's held up as this ethical company. Hannah from Talented Ladies Club, I just interviewed her last week, and that video is out from this week. And she did write an article recently where she goes all through Avon, and it's just as dirty and as corrupt as any other MLM. None of them are just like this paramount of, ethical business practices at all. Okay, so anyway, but it's not just self-regulatory efforts that aren't working. The case-by-case battle that has played out over several decades between direct selling companies and the FTC, state attorneys general, Tina.org, and aggrieved distributors has been ineffective at protecting consumers from the widespread deception used by the MLM industry, which has led to social, emotional, and physical harms and financial hardship for far too many consumers. As such, it's time to try a different tactic. Today, truthinadvertising.org sent a letter to the FTC urging it to initiate a penalty offense program targeting the direct selling industry and its market-wide practice of utilizing deceptive earnings representations and false health claims. Under Section 5M1B of the FTC Act, the Commission may address market-wide harms by fining companies up to $43,792 when they knowingly engage in a practice that has been ruled unlawful in a final cease and desist order following a fully adjudicated administrative proceeding. When it comes to the MLM industry and its deceptive marketing practices, there is no shortage of cases that clearly articulate these particular practices as unlawful. For example, the final order in the FTC's 1975 Costco case provides ample notice that it is deceptive and thus illegal to mislead possible recruits about how much money they can earn. Similarly, the final order and modification in Palm Wonderful specifically indicates that unsubstantiated health claims are deceptive and therefore illegal. And while many MLM companies are already fully aware of the legal rules, of the road when it comes to marketing. In order to eliminate any claims of ignorance, Tina.org has provided the FTC with a list of more than 660 direct selling companies operating in the U.S. together with available contact information so that the agency can formally apprise each company that deceptive health claims and atypical income representations are unlawful pursuant to prior final orders of the commission. As is its usual practice, Tina.org is also forwarding a copy of the FTC letter to every direct selling company on the list to inform them of its action. Now, I'm going to be interested in how the DSA responds to that because, they're not going down with a fight, so to speak. Tina.org ended its letter to the FTC as follows. It is time that the agency stop playing a game of whack-a-mole with the MLM industry and instead implement an enforcement program that will finally deter the systemic harm caused by the constant and continual use of deceptive marketing within direct selling. Only when it is no longer economically advantageous for MLM companies to deceive consumers and low-level distributors alike will there be progress toward truth in advertising. Tina.org hopes the FTC will not delay in joining Tina.org's efforts to put the MLM industry on notice that it's time for using deceptive marketing without facing substantial penalties is up. And I really think this goes right along with that business opportunity rule, because this is, I think, is going to hopefully help the FTC, like as looking at the business opportunity rule, this is giving them a ton of information about why that rule should be in place, why MLMs should be included in that and not excluded as it is right now. So now I wanted to share with you the actual letter that the FTC sent. I know this is not horribly entertaining. I'm not, doing a little dance for you or anything, but this stuff is extremely important for us if we are going to have any kind of protection for consumers, because you think about all the videos that, content creators make, everybody on Instagram, on Twitter, everybody calling out TikTok, calling out all of these things. But if there's no kind of actual action by a regulating authority, they're not going to stop, I mean, think about like the stuff with TikTok, how, we're not going to allow, any MLM content. It's all over the platform. It never stopped being on the platform. That was just, a bunch of lip service as far as I'm concerned. So these things matter because of the legalities that are attached to it. Us speaking out is great and we need to keep doing that. But we need things that are going to have the weight to get the eyes of those who can actually make change with laws to do their job, so to speak. Good Lord, this is taking forever and 5 days to load. Again, I can't wait to get another computer, which is going to be soon. Very soon. Oh my gosh. Come on, load already. But I found it because I went through the letter. And I'll show you like all the companies that are mentioned. Oh, this was what was interesting. And it's the CEO movement. The CEO movement is one of those educational platforms, like what I've done on Darren and Mike, the ACE Initiative, the Breakaway Movement, the Butterfly Campaign, that leads back to an MLM. Butterfly Campaign goes to Kayani. All the other ones go to Enagic. And I found it interesting that one of those is in the appendix, because as far as I'm concerned, all the other, educational platforms associated with Enagic or any other MLM should also be on notice because they all use deception. Okay. Here we go. If you hear any weird noises, Chalupa is shaking his head. He has flappy ears, and there's a little clicks because the dogs are walking on, the wood floor. Dear Mr. Levine, for far too long, multi-level marketing companies have used deceptive marketing to promote the business opportunity and sell their wares. In fact, the problem is so long-standing and pervasive that the MLM industry's self-regulatory body, the Direct Selling Self-Regulatory Council, stated just last month that Though the industry has made significant strides to curtail the dissemination of unsupported claims regarding income potential, there is still a great deal of work ahead of us to assure that the product earning claims communicated to consumers and potential Salesforce members are truthful and accurate. The footnotes on here I also find to be very interesting. Moreover, industry trade group, the Direct Selling Association, the lobbying group, published an article in its January 2021 journal that stated direct sellers will never be able to wholly prevent distributors from making improper claims. Now, just that statement alone, to me, I'm like, why not? Why isn't there something that is enforceable to prevent people from making improper claims? One of the things that I think would help would be the business opportunity rule, where they have to provide the information, because that way people at least have something that they can refer back to, and it's not just a bunch of Huns saying like, oh, you can make great money, or other stuff that they do. Thank you very much. We're not able to see my screen. Oh my God. Let me do that. Let me share that. Sorry, guys. There we go. Okay, now I can see it. What can I say? I'm just having a day. All right. So, such pessimism is cause for concern, as improper health and income claims not only deceive consumers, but also lead to social, emotional, and physical harms and financial hardship, which I think we've all seen all of that. Given this backdrop, truthandadvertising.org urges the commission to implement a penalty offense program targeting the direct selling industry and its market-wide practice of utilizing deceptive earnings representations and false health claims. For more than 40 years, the FTC has consistently pursued individual MLM companies making false and deceptive marketing claims. Unfortunately, this approach has no apparent deterrent effect on the industry, as is demonstrate by multiple truthandadvertising.org investigations. The commission has issued numerous final cease and desist orders following fully adjudicated administrative proceedings, clearly indicating, among other things, the false earnings representations and misleading health claims are deceptive and thus unlawful. And while there can be no doubt that many direct selling companies are fully aware that such claims are unlawful pursuant to Section 5 of the FTC Act, in order to eliminate any claims of ignorance, all such companies in the U.S. should be provided with actual notice of the law so that civil penalties may be imposed against lawbreakers. To that end, attached is Appendix A, is a list of more than 660 direct selling companies operating in the U.S. together with available contact information in order to assist the FTC in providing notice. Further, as our usual practice, Tina.org is forwarding a copy of this letter to all direct selling companies listed in Appendix A, for which contact information was available together with fully applicable final cease and desist orders attached here too. It is time that the agency stop playing a game of whack-a-mole, which I read that earlier from stuff, but I wanted to, let me see. Has anybody read this particular article, The Critical Components of Self-Regulation in Direct Selling? Because I just find, okay, when I think about this, okay, like OSHA, for example, when I was designing training for an oil company and a lot of safety training, okay, OSHA oversees all of that. And at any time, at any site, an OSHA representative can show up and determine whether or not the all the safety precautions that they are supposed to be following, whether or not those are in place. A self-regulating agency, they're not going to do that because it's in their best interest not to really enforce much of anything. To me, it's just really, it's a way of making it appear as if they care about consumers. In reality, it is more about protecting these organizations and to allow the system to continue to perpetuate over and over and over and grow, and which does nothing but inflict harm. Okay, so I have not looked at that myself, but I don't know. I might try to look that up and see. And there's a lot of stuff in here. And there's like Truth in Advertising puts like all of this stuff that they have done. So you can see there is a lot of information that the FTC can refer to because they provide all of it right here for them. But I did want to share with you Appendix A. Now, I'm not going to read all of these dang companies because that would take forever, but I am going to scroll through it because I think it's important to see. One of the things that we often will hear is that, oh, my MLM is different. We're not like the other one. We're not like those guys. Oh, in fact, we're not even MLM, even though you have all the earmarkings of the same thing. You're part of the Direct Selling Association. You have this complex, income compensation plan, and your income disclosure, if you have one, it clearly shows you that only a sliver of the 1% at the top make any kind of actual money. Just those things in and of itself. You have a starter kit, people have to pay to play. You have some sort of requirement that, every month you have to have some sort of volume of some sort. And in doing that, that's how you keep people roped into the system. Everything that I've talked about in all my other videos, but it's just all very, very deceiving. I mean, we know that. But just look at all of these. I think this really shows you how much work Truth in Advertising has done over the years to amass this amount of information. And that's why if you don't want to report to the FTC, you can report your experience with MLM through Truth in Advertising. There is a link somewhere on the site. And I think I've shown that in a past video. But just look at all of that. It's really, I think, very eye-opening. And I'm so glad to see that Beachbody is there. I am so very glad of that. If you don't know, I am a former Beachbody Hunbot, hence recovering. But all of this, I think, is so very, and there's so many in here I've never heard of. There's a lot that I have, but it's like, oh, good Lord. It's like, I swear, it's like, and these names always just crack me up. Oh my God, Closet Candy. Wow. Oh, Color Me Beautiful, seriously? Wasn't Color Me Beautiful a thing like, oh my gosh, like in the 80s or something? I think it was. I think I even had a book about it. I think it's makeup. I can't really remember. But there's just so many of them. And I want to know from you guys, do you think the letter that Truth in Advertising sent to the FTC and that they have sent to all of these companies, do you think it's going to put the companies on notice? Do you think that they are going to do anything to behave differently? Do you think this is going to help with the business opportunity rule for that to actually include multi-level marketing companies? What do you think about all of this? So many. And what really bothers me is just seeing name after name after name. As I think about the people who have joined each of these. And these people who enter it thinking, this is my way, that I can finally have the lifestyle that I want, which they put in your head that you have to have all kinds of fanciness, and you really don't. But all of these people are believing what these companies are selling, which is time freedom, financial freedom. And meanwhile, all they do is continue to invest more of their time, more of their money into it. And what are they getting out of it? What are they really getting out of being part of it? The only thing I think some people get out of it, and it's fake, is that feeling of community, that you have people to go to that are supportive. But the thing is that when you then do leave, if you do wake up, all of that community that you thought was there for you, it's gone in a heartbeat. You no longer have that. But when you're in it, it feels good. It feels real. But it's not. Hacked snacks. Oh, good gravy. I mean, these names. Hello Pink. Oh my gosh. I swear, sometimes my brain goes to like really bad places when I see some of these names. Now, iBoomerang, because that one's located here in Houston. Holton Bugs. And I'm not sure if he's still part of Organa or not, but he was way big up in Organa. He started iBoomerang. And so I've wanted to look into that because of the Houston connection. And I'm very glad to see I Am Academy here. Just so many. In a Pickle? What in the hell is that? Seriously, these names are so stupid. They're just like so ridiculous. I mean, how do you even say these things? You know, I zig. What in the world? Craziness. Now, Jafara, no, Dave, you probably know this. I think, is Jafaro the Market America cosmetics like division? Because I was thinking that's what it was, because I covered it in a video that I just recently recorded, and I was going, that's Jafaro. I know I've talked about it before, but I couldn't remember from where. But so many. All of them have received this letter. Do you think they're just going to like throw it away? Or do you think they will? Oh, Carrot Bars. Thank goodness. I've wanted to look into Carrot Bars and haven't. Carrot Bars is another like crypto MLM. And that one keeps on coming up in my world. I keep seeing things. I'm just fascinated just because it's called Carrot Bars, but I think that name is ridiculous. Lavelle, glad to see that there. Kyani, I'm glad to see that one. Leader Team Development. I'm not familiar with that, but why do I think personal development? There's, oh my gosh, Leggings Girl. Oh my Lord. Life's Abundance. That doesn't sound sketch at all, does it? I mean, oh, it's just Lime Life. I'm glad to see them. I mean, I'm glad to see all of these names, you know. LuLaRoe, big shocker there. Lycanet, I've done a video on this. Lioness or Lycanet is like they changed their name, and big shocker, and really some scummy things going on there. Magical Vacation Planner, get out of town. Market America, yay, Market America is there. Oh, Motives is theirs, but is Jafara, is that part of Market America? Why do I keep thinking it's part of Market America? I don't know. Now, Luca, Monet, whatever you want to call it. You know, I wanted to look into My Lead System Pro because I thought that probably has got issues. Oh, My Daily Choice, not surprised by that. Wow, so I guess does it go by all of these other names? Because I know it's called HempWorks, but Daily Sprays, Mantra Essential Oils, High Life Travel, and I don't even know what to say with that one. Are you seeing any that you're surprised by? Nest Learning. Why do I think that's something that's targeting, you know, families for their kids, to how to teach their kids stuff, which is disturbing. So many. Isn't it just frightening of how many of these things there are? And I mean, I've gotten down to nearly 400 Organa Gold, thank goodness. I mean, it's just like all of them. It just tells me they're all saying something that is deceptive. Plunder, good. I'm glad Plunder's on there. And Plexus, Primerica, Princess House. Oh, good. The Proctor Gallagher Institute. Oh, yeah, because I have mentioned them just briefly in I Am Academy because of Bob Proctor, and I thought about going and doing a deep dive in that, because I the whole personal development side and how he's all law of attraction stuff. It's just, prosperity of life. I mean, just that name, that's so deceiving. Pure Haven. Ugh. It's just awful. There's just so many. Ruby Ribbon. I've done a video on that one. Salad Master. Has there been like an infomercial with that Salad Master, or am I just, getting things, confused? Because I could be. Sensations. Okay, how they spell things. I mean, please. Puppy, please. Scout and Cellar. Good. Good. Secret. Remember when I did the live stream about Secret? Saint, which was mascara. Mascara. Maskcara. I think that's how it was spelled. Shrimp and Grits Kids. Now, I love me some Shrimp and Grits. But Shrimp and Grits Kids? What in the what is that? And by the way, where my husband works, they make amazing shrimp and grits. And they were selling shrimp and grits to one of our grocery stores, HEB, up until, Texas started reopening. And so I'd get shrimp and grits, brought home to me on occasion. Delicious. Delicious. But not everywhere can make, good shrimp and grits. Thermomix, I did a video on that one. So nasty. Literally, you can be burned by that one. People were Tomboy Tools, that kills me. Tory Bell, which is a newer one. Glad to see it's there. It's just unbelievable. So what do you think that this will do? Do you think it will have any impact at all? Or, Premiere, I did one on that. I've done a lot. I haven't mentioned all the ones that I've done videos on. But it's just unbelievable. Vox Life, those silly socks. Oh my Wakaya is there. Okay, that's, basically sanitary pads. So I'm glad that's there. Goodness. It's just unbelievable. So we're past 600. Just craziness. They're all guilty. They are all guilty. CEO movement, that's what I was talking about. Okay, so a total of 668. What's in Appendix B? Okay, I'm not going to get into all of that. All right, so that's what I have for you today. I'm very sorry that the microphone was not working earlier, and then I was not sharing my screen. Like I said, with finally closing on the house and everything, it's been a week. The movers come next Wednesday. Rich has already started taking boxes over there because he likes taking the boxes himself. Kind of drives me nuts, but whatever. And this weekend he works tomorrow through brunch, but we'll take other stuff over there. And then we're doing some things on Sunday, and Monday is I'm off because of the 4th of July, which is Sunday. And yeah, preparing to get this place empty. And then I'm going to have to set up my studio there, which I don't know how long that's going to be. And I'm hoping to do a live stream next week. And if I do, my gosh, I got to make sure that my camera's working, since I'm having that issue today. Hello. But if I can have it next week, just so that things might be kind of echoey, because I'm probably not going to be able to get like all the foam on the walls or anything. I'll try to throw a blanket down, on the floor, but it might be a little weird. I do have some of those videos from the Business for Home Growth Conference, and people had told me a couple of ones that they wanted me to look at, and I'm going to look at Ted Nugent, I can't ever say his last name right, and Deanie Newlander, his wife, their video on day one, and then somebody, and she is with My Daily Choice, Jenna something another, it starts with a Z. Somebody said they wanted me to look at that. So I was thinking of doing that next week. So we'll see if I'm able to, but I'm really not sure. Hey, Erica, how are you doing, sweetheart? So we'll see. And I apologize again for things being weird today, but what can I say? You know, I'm human. My equipment is far from perfect, but I'm going to get down on the go-go, and I will see you next time. I do have videos coming out for you next week, and I already have 2 for the following week, which will be my first week in our new home. Already got those ready to go because I don't know how I'm going to be able to set up and do recorded anything or do any of it really. And if I can't do recorded videos, I probably am going to do more live streams where I go over some of the videos from the Business for Home Growth Conference, and we can all just kind of like talk about what are they really selling or what are they not saying, you know, just because I find that interesting. The more I listen to these people, it's like the less substance they actually provide. It's like none of them are really providing anything that's helpful to anyone. But then again, the idea is not for them to actually be helpful, because none of these people who are listening are going to be able to make their business work. It's all just smoke and mirrors. Anyway, I'm going to go. Thank you so much for bearing with me and being here. I appreciate it. And remember, you are beautiful and I love you. And I'll see you next time.